Job interviews are kind of my thing, so here are my top 10 tips to make sure you ace your next interview. If this is our first time meeting, my name is Cassandra and I help motivated professionals build their careers through practical tips to gain career confidence. And I've got a lot of videos on interviewing and have gotten thousands of responses from people saying that these tips have helped them get jobs. So today I want to give you my top 10 tips, and I'll also direct you to some other videos that will help you go even further. So number 1, we need to make a killer first impression. Now, I know right now most of you are still interviewing online through video. I just made a video about this, but some quick tips for you. You want to be on ahead of the interviewer. Don't come super early, but make sure your tech works, you're on a little bit early, and that you're looking at your camera, not at the screen, at your camera. This is going to be your virtual eye contact, right? Right now you think I am just piercing deeply in your soul. Just kidding. But it does look like I'm looking at you because I'm looking at my camera. So make sure you're doing the same. And when you're looking at the camera, we're smiling because people want to work with friendly people. And men, this especially applies to you. When you get on camera like this, we're a little scared. So make sure you are smiling and looking at that camera when you get on screen so that you're making a great, warm, virtual first impression. Now, if you're in person, you're going to smile. You're going to make eye contact. We're not going to have our arms crossed. We're not going to be leaning back in a chair. We're going to do all the things we can to show that we are ready and excited for this experience. If you want more help, there will be a video about it down below, but those are the main things. You have to make a killer first impression because 70% of their mind is made up in the first 30 seconds. What? They've already decided just by your entry if they're going to give you the job or not. Like majority of the way. So you want to make sure you're giving a great first impression. So tip number 2, know what sets you apart. You need to make sure you know in a job interview, what's your differentiator? It might be something like you've had tons of experience in this industry. It might be that in that preferred qualifications, those ones that they know most people aren't going to hit, you hit all 5. Whatever it is, you want to know that thing that you think is kind of your ace in the hole. Is that the right phrase? I think it is, but you know what I mean. You want that thing that you know sets you apart. Sometimes it's extremely obvious. In my current position, it was that I actually had a background in television. I was going to be working with film students. They wanted someone with career experience. Hey, I got that. And they wanted someone in the preferred who had actually worked in the industry. Hey, me. I knew the rest of their candidates probably did not have that. So it was a great differentiator. Sometimes it's something very obvious like that. Sometimes you're going to have to work a little harder for it, but you want to know what sets you apart, so when they ask, why should we hire you, you have a good, strong, solid answer. Okay, number 3, have your tell me about yourself story ready. You all need to know your tell me about yourself. If I asked you right now, tell me about yourself, and stopped and made you reply to me like we were in person, you would stumble, because we all do, because it's very unnatural to talk about ourselves this way. So make sure you have your tell me about yourself story ready to go. Now, this is not the
I love long walks on the beach, and I love hanging out with my dog and watching The Crown on the weekend.
I mean, we all love watching The Crown, right? Have you caught up? Let me know. But it's not about that. This is about you going through past experiences and making sure you share something relevant to this position. If you're smart about this, you are going to make sure that you are sharing things that tie in to that job description. I want you to think about if this was the only question you got asked. If they said, you know what, we're running real short on time. We only have 5 minutes. We're just going to ask you, tell me about yourself. In your tell me about yourself, you're going to share about yourself, but within that, plant seeds of why you are the right candidate for this position. But have it ready to go. You cannot wing it, y'all. You cannot wing it. Number 4, be curious. They want somebody who's interested in this job. And a way you can show you're interested is by being curious. At the end of the interview, when they say, "Do you have any questions for us?" Yes, you do. You always do. Make sure you know what questions you're going to ask ahead of time, because if you wait till the end, once again, cannot wing it. If you wait until the end, you won't think of anything. But think about things you're genuinely curious about. I would love to know more about who I'd be working closely with in this role. What are things that make someone successful in this role? There's a lot of strategy around the questions to ask at the end. I have 3 videos on that. I'll put them below. I might have 4 or 5, but there's at least 3 main ones you gotta watch. I'll put those below. But the big thing is, make sure you're curious. Make sure you're asking questions to them to show your genuine interest in this position, because people like to hire people who want to work there. Which goes to tip number 5, sound enthusiastic. Y'all, just because you're interviewing for the job does not let the interviewer know that you actually want the job. Is that not crazy? You can come in and sound unenthusiastic and they're gonna go, well, do they want to work here? So make sure you sound excited to be there, and you have to say the words. I am very excited about this position. I'm really excited for this opportunity, because make sure you let them know that you're interested. It seems strange, like I'm in the room or I'm on camera talking to them. Doesn't that imply I'm interested? No, you could be there because you're gonna leverage this interview and this job, if given the opportunity, to go get more money at your current company. Or you're gonna do this interview because, well, I just haven't done an interview in a while and I need the practice. There could be a ton of reasons why you're interviewing. And so you wanna make sure you sound enthusiastic and that you actually say the words, "I am very excited for this position because," and then give a reason why you are genuinely excited. As long as it's not the pay or the location, okay? Don't say, "I can't wait to do this job because I get to work from home." I hope you want it more for the skills and the passion than the location, or it's a big salary bump. They know those are good things. Give me something else. Number 6, make sure you know the STAR method. So the STAR method is what we use for all those questions that are, tell me about a time when. Tell me about a time you had to handle a difficult situation. Tell me about a time you resolved a conflict at work. Oh, those fun questions. Well, to answer them, you need to use STAR. Situation, task, action, result. Now, once again, whole video where we break it down further, but the situation and the task often go together. So tell me about a time where there was a conflict at work. Well, I was working in this group project. Our task was blah, blah, blah. You're going to give the task. Then you're going to give the action, right? This is the action you took. Like, tell me about a time you resolved the conflict. This is going to be the action you took to resolve the conflict. You're going to share that. You've got to lay the groundwork with that situation and the task, and then you're going to give that action. This is the problem. Most people stop there because they're like, and here's that thing I did to resolve the conflict. Aren't I a wonderful human being? And they're like, look how great I look. Don't forget the result. All the money is in the result. Everything the interviewer wants to know is in the result. It doesn't matter what you did. If the people you did it to hated you afterwards, you could be like, and then I made this decree that none of us will do this bad thing at work ever again. And it resolved the conflict for that moment. But did everybody hate you afterwards? Did you have to eat lunch alone after that because everyone was mad at you? You need to give the result. So I did this action to resolve the conflict. After that, our team worked very holistically. In fact, we ended up having stronger relationships because we saw each other's side and understood how to communicate better in future situations. Ooh, okay. Make sure you add that result. I would say 90% of interviewees do not give the results. And so if you're the one who does, you will be at the top of that candidate pool. Okay, tip number 7, dress the part. Now, remember, way back at the beginning, we talked about having a great first impression. Part of your first impression is how you're dressed. Make sure you are dressed the part. Make sure you are dressed to company culture. If it's a gaming company, please do not show up in a suit and tie. If it is a finance company, please do not show up in a t-shirt. You need to make sure you're towards company culture. Even if you are doing this from home, I want you to dress the whole part. Do not wear your sweatpants. We feel different. We sit different. We act different when we are in our sweats than when we are in our full suit or our full interview outfit. Make sure you are wearing something that you would wear if you were interviewing in person. It's going to remind you of what you are doing. It is going to put you in the mindset of somebody working in that company, not somebody who's at home, who's gonna finish the crown. I'm gonna keep coming back to it. Who's gonna finish the crown as soon as they're done with this interview because they can move 5 feet from their desk to the couch. We put on the whole professional self, even if it is for a virtual interview. Number 8, this one is especially true. Well, this is special right for now, but I think virtual interviews are gonna be around. I think they might be here to stay. So number 8, check your tech. Y'all, you best check your technology the night before the interview. Does your computer use WebEx? Mine doesn't. I can't get it on my Mac for the life of me. I think I have to like download something and upload and reload and blah, blah, blah. If my interview were on WebEx, I'd be in a world of hurt if I waited till that morning to turn it on. But make sure you know where your laptop is gonna sit. Stack it on those books so we get it at a nice eye level. Move your lights around to get good lighting, but check all that ahead of time along with your tech. Where are your sound settings, both on the webinar software like Zoom or WebEx, and where are they on your computer? Where are your brightness factors, your mic, all of that? Make sure you know your camera. Make sure you know where all of that is, because even the other day, y'all, I've lived on Zoom now for 8 months, right? I went on Zoom to do something and it defaulted to a different microphone. And I had to go through and check all my settings. Thank God I knew where they were. I once spent 20 minutes on a mock interview with someone where they were just trying to figure out why I couldn't hear them. You don't want that to be you. The interview is already stressful enough. You don't want to come on and have them go, oh, we can't hear you. And now you're panicking and sweating over, where's my sound setting? Where's this setting? At least you'll, in case there is technology issues, you'll know where everything is, but hopefully, because you checked your tech, you'll have resolved all of them beforehand. Number 9, research the company and the people you're interviewing with. Now, this doesn't have to be long research. I'm saying the night before or in the midst of practicing, you're going to look up the company, do a Google News search on them. What's been said about them lately? Read some articles about them. What are they very much known for? What's their mission and their values? You need to know these things for when they ask, why do you want to work here? You better have some specific answers. They also might just ask you, what do you know about our company? And you've got to talk about it. Like you need to know what they're up to. It's going to be very apparent very quickly if you don't. I have a friend who's a recruiter at Viacom, and on the phone screen, she always asks people, what's your favorite show of ours? Viacom owns CMT, MTV. Those are 2 of the big ones I can remember. See, I need to do research. Now they're all like, oh, Nickelodeon, obviously, all of those. And people will all the time get on with her and say, oh, I just love The Real Housewives. I'm such a Real Housewives fan. Y'all, that's Bravo. That's NBC Universal. That is not one of their shows. Big whoops. You better be like, The Challenge. I love The Challenge. So make sure you're researching the company and then also research the people. Do a quick LinkedIn scan of the people you're going to be talking to on an interview. See if you have anything in common. Remember, we need to show them that we're curious about them. You're not going to rattle off this report of what you learned about the person, but you want to let them know like, oh my gosh, I looked you up before this and I saw you also were a Delta Nu. I'm just kidding. I know that's Legally Blonde. But you say like, oh, we were in the same sorority, or oh, I saw you also worked at Gap when you were in college. That's so funny. Like, see if there's anything to connect with, or at least just get a better understanding of who they are, what their position is in the company. And And then last, if this last tip isn't obvious already, tip number 10, practice. This is not something we can do flying by the seat of our pants. You need to practice for an interview. I actually have a very short, affordable course for you called How to Feel Prepared and Confident for Your Next Interview. The link for it will be down below. I also have a free interview prep checklist. You can get that down below. So many resources today, but just know whether you use those or not, you need to practice. Do not let the first time you say these words out loud be in the room. I know it feels uncomfortable. I know it feels weird to talk to a wall, but you need to practice and talk out your answers ahead of time before getting in that room. It's going to take away so much of the nerves. You're going to feel so much more confident in that room. So make sure you are practicing ahead of time. That is the tip of all the tips, okay? So I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments which tip is most important to you or newest to you. I would love to see that below, and go watch those other videos, and good luck. Hope you get the job. Come back and let me know. Bye.